Book 13, 1812. 1812. Chapter 1. The famous Flint moment merely consisted in after the event of the French, the Russian army, which had been continually retreating straight back from the invaders, deviating from the direct course and not finding itself pursued, and was naturally drawn towards the district where supplies were abundant. If instead of imagining terrorist commanders of genius leading a Russian army, we picture the army without any leaders, it could have not done anything but make a return movement towards Moscow, describing an arc in direction which most provisions were not to be found and where the country was richest. The moment from the roads, they were so natural, even the Russians moved in that direction. That means the commands were sent from Petersburg to Kutuzov and to take that army. Kutuzov received what was almost from the emperor of having moved away his army along the road. The emperor letter indicated to him that the very position already had been occupied near, having rolled like a ball in the direction of a campus given by the whole entire campaign. And by the Battle of Borodino, the Russian army, when the strength of the was exhausted, the fresh push was received, assuming the position natural to do it. Kutuzov lays not in strategic maneuver of genius. It's called in the fact it can be alone and understood insignificant. Chapter 2. Napoleon, Moscow, October 30th, 1812. Kutuzov replied, I should be cursed by postify when I look on his statement of any sort. Such is presence of my nation. But he continued to the powers and restrained his troops from attacking. During the months, the French troops were pillaging Moscow, and the Russian troops were quietly encamped and changed, and had taken without a place in of which the superiority that he had passed to the Russian side through the condition of the numbers and French army unknown to the Russians as soon as change occurred and need of attacking at once showed itself by countless signs. The advantage was now on our side, and the substantial change in the relative strengths that we had advanced become invincible. And at once the clock begins to strike at chime soon, and the minute the hand has completed the full circle with a change that was shown by increased activity in chiming the higher spears. The Russian army was commanded by Kutuzov and his staff, and almost like the emperor from Petersburg. Before the news of the abundance of Moscow, he had been received Petersburg a detailed plan of the whole entire campaign, drawn up and sent to Kutuzov for guidance. Through this plan had been drawn up to the supposition Moscow was still in our hands, and it approved by the staff and accepted by the basic for action. Kutuzov only replied to the movements arranged from a distance and always difficult to execute. So fresh instructions were sent from the solution for difficulties that might have been encountered, as well as the fresh people who were there to watch Kutuzov's actions and report on them. But besides, the whole entire staff of the Russian army was organized. The post left vacant by Bagration, who had been killed. Barclay, who had gone into the dungeon, been filled very serious considerations was given to the question whether it would be better to put an A in B's place and B in D's, or on the contrary, to put on D's in A's place. So on and on, as if nothing is more on A's or B's satisfaction depended on this. Chapter 3. Chapter 3. If I did only not know you, then I should think that I don't want you. You're asking for. I need you for advice in everything, and Highness is sure to do opposite, replied Bagration. The Cossacks report, confirmed by the patrols and those sent out in the final proof, events matured. In tightly cold spring with release, the clock began to wither and the chimes to play. Despite all supposed power and his intellect of experience, his knowledge of men, Kutuzov have taken into consideration to the Cossacks' report a note from Bagration, who sent the personal reports to the Emperor. He wishes to suppose the Emperor and to hold in the invincible moments, and gave that order to do regardless and useless. Harmful, he gave his approval and accomplished for that fact. Chapter 4. Without playing, the surgeon was released. No. Chapter 5. The next day, Kutuzov, having given the orders to be called early, said this, but his prayer address was as unpleasant and conscious in having to do a direct battle, but he did not approve of. He got into his and drove from a village 3.5 miles where the place were attacking the columns and were to men. Waking up by turns and listening for any sound of firing on the night and the indication that the action had begun. But Kutuzov had cavalrymen leading their horses to the water across the road which he was driving. Kutuzov looked at them searchingly and stopped his carriage and inquired the regiment they belonged to. I need to go pee.